Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now, I'm sorry I haven't posted anything to this channel for, I think it's like 5 years now. So I wanted to jump on and say hello and welcome back. I haven't disappeared off the face of the earth. I've been working on a lot of other things and I have a big plan on how to revive this channel and some new stuff I'm working on. So I wanted to check in and say hello before I start posting a whole bunch of other stuff. In this video, I wanted to tell a bit of a story about the background of why I set up the Detrashed channel and what it was meant to be about. When I started working on zero waste, I never really intended on becoming a zero waste influencer or a content creator or on teaching people directly the tips. What I wanted to create was a package or a game, a book, a training system that other sustainability professionals could use in cities. So I was really coming to it, not as an influencer or a content creator, but as somebody trying to create a system that other content creators or sustainability professionals or city managers working in corporations or cities or anywhere could use. So I started putting that together and I made some videos, I put out the book, I tried to make the game, got halfway there, got a bit unstuck. And then, I had a baby, I had to move, I didn't have access to the extra room that I had to make the videos, and I started working on a whole bunch of other stuff. Now, in the meantime, since I made those videos, I did put out this book called How to Save the World, and have taken a really deep dive into the academic research into the behavioral psychology of what it takes to drive pro-environmental behavior. So my true passion with this stuff is really trying to unlock the psychological keys to what really gets people to start adopting pro-environmental behaviors and careers and innovations and actions as part of that deep sense of who they are. Not just stopping using a plastic bag sometimes, or maybe riding your bike a bit extra, but really becoming an instigator of change in all of your behaviors in your career that lasts decade after decade, and how we can start bring about that revolution in human consciousness where we really consider the environmental impact of what we're doing, everything, little things and big things, and how I can propagate that in the world. Now that means sometimes I do green tips and do green content like what I did with the zero waste video, but a lot of the time I'm really looking at this bird's eye view lens about how to apply the psychological, the data, the storytelling and gamification techniques for how we can really bring about the epic environmental change that we need. Now, since I started this video, I wrote the book. I've also got a podcast. It's called How to Save the World, where I interview academic social scientists in environmental psychology. I've developed apps called Urban Canopy, one called Energy Lollipop, something called the Imagination Project. I've done a whole lot of environmental data software design, and I've done some really interesting environmental psychology consulting with big organizations like the United Nations Environment Program, Google, the US Department of State. I've worked with NASA JPL on urban heat islands. I've worked on energy efficiency data with a bunch of different universities and schools. And I've consulted with a whole bunch of social impact startups on their gamification and design strategy. And now I'm ready to relaunch this YouTube channel with a more comprehensive strategy about how we transform our communities and our neighborhoods and towns and cities into the thriving ecotopias that they should be. How do we get to zero emissions? How do we decarbonize? How do we get to zero waste? Not just as one person, but for everybody. And how do we get more greenery, more trees, more gardens, less cars in our communities? And how do each of us become activators of the people around us? For the time being, it's called Katie's Eco World. It was the best thing I could come up with. I'll probably come up with something else. So stay tuned. I'm going to start releasing more videos about a broader spectrum of topics, and we'll also be going into the psychological theory of how we actually get people to change, which really is my true passion. So I hope you'll be able to click the subscribe button if you haven't already, click the bell, which YouTube now has, so you get notified when there's new videos, and I hope you'll enjoy this new content that I'll be putting out about how we really can build the communities and neighborhoods of our dreams.